Well, first, before I get into them, your personal story, which you do share in the book, what made you interested in the potential of stem cells, both endogenous and and exogenous, but more so the endogenous? What led to what you're doing today?
It's well, I was going to say it's an interesting story. It's my story, so of course I think it's interesting. But my point here is that it's interesting in the fact that it is, I think, a great example of the traditional process of scientific investigation. So I had no knowledge, no specific interest in stem cell research. I was hired in 1995 to study a plant that probably a lot of people have heard about, blue-green algae from Klamath Lake. It has been on the marketplace for maybe 3, 4 decades. And so I started to study this plant to essentially document the mechanism of action of the health benefits that have been associated with that plant, that blue-green algae. And very quickly, we documented the mechanism of action on the anti inflammatory properties, immune stimulation properties, and also on the mind. Most people would take this product and would report some sort of mental clarity, mental energy, a sense of mood elevation. But as I'm doing all this work, I came across people who reported reversal or significant improvement in conditions like multiple sclerosis, heart disease, diabetes, liver failure, emphysema, Parkinson, Alzheimer's, and kidney failure. And the list was not only impressive, but from a purely scientific standpoint, the question in my mind was, what is this plant doing to bring benefits touching so many different aspects of human health? So, for a number of years, it was sort of a mystery. We did not have a good explanation until one day I came across an article that was describing for the first time, to my knowledge, that a stem cell had left the bone marrow and then migrated in the brain and became a neuron in the brain. So we need to go back in 2001. This is January 2001. Stem cells are only precursors to blood cells, and of all cells in the body, the brain is not an organ here that regenerate very easily. So for stem cells to become a brain cell, that was by itself also quite impressive. So I wondered what else I could find in the scientific literature. So I went to the local library. This is pre-internet, or at least before the time when scientific articles, were on the internet. So I went and I looked at what I could find, and I found an article documenting stem cells going to the liver to become liver cells, and to the heart and becoming heart cells. So from there, my thought was, if stem cells can become brain, heart, and liver, why not pancreas, lung, skin, and the rest? It makes no sense that they would become those three organs and not the rest. And if they do, it's just a matter of time for scientists to discover that. And if that is true, then they have to be the repair system of the body. So I published an article in the journal Medical Hypotheses suggesting that stem cells are the repair system of the body. And in the back of my mind, the thought was, what if that plant is working as a stem cell mobilizer, releasing stem cells from the bone marrow? It would then explain everything, because once you release stem cells, they will go into the pancreas of the diabetic, the heart of the heart patient, the brain of the Parkinson patients, and so on. So we put this hypothesis out. We acquired a flow cytometer to start to count stem cells, first in our own blood, but very rapidly we discovered that this plant was acting as a stem cell mobilizer. And that was the day when my entire career shifted, and I started to work in the field of stem cell research. So it all came through traditional scientific investigation.